Good morning, everyone. Kenzie Brown here, your energy emotion coach, and this is my series of Illuminating 2020. Well, you can say each and every one of us has gone through a huge emotional shift and change and healing over the last 5-6 months. From that point of view, we've also done a lot of retrospect. How do we want to live our lives? Where do we want to go from now and into the next future, say 3 to 5 years? Today's approach, we're going to talk about the month of August. We've only got one more day left after today. I really want to eliminate all this heaviness and talking about victimhood. I want to sort of address some of the blessings that each and every one of us have experienced. And they're varied. Everyone has had a different experience along the way. But I'm hoping by putting more effect on that, it is going to be giving you an opportunity to be more proactive, be a little more motivated, and move in a direction for your highest good and less about woe is me and how bad things really are. Now, as I look back through this whole month and all the things that are going on, I have found many people are looking at possibly taking some classes online. Things that they've thought about, they've always wanted to do. This is a direction that they've chosen to sort of broaden their vision. So many of us have lost jobs and have been isolated for so long that now we're looking at, gee, maybe I need to downsize some of the things in my home, going from room to room, whether it's furniture or clothes, something that's not served you anymore. So now that needs to shift and change. Maybe you're finding new ways to express your creativity. Doing that, like maybe you're exercising more. Finding a specific time to go to the club and spend some time on just you, who you are, where you would like to go and be. Maybe you're changing your eating habits. Maybe you're choosing to eat less beef and you're becoming more of a vegetarian. So your overall lifestyle is really evolving. You're taking steps to move forward and do some things that are different. Stuff that's maybe always been in the back of your mind, but you didn't quite know how you'd find the time to do it. Well, now seems to be the way in which to approach it. I'm also very aware of the change in frequency here on the planet. It is totally rising higher all the time. Now, you might not feel it, might not be aware of it, but the change is there. And the way that's happening is a better blending of the masculine and the feminine. And why do I say that? Well, we've been very masculine oriented for a very, 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 very long time. By blending it with the feminine, you're able to bring in more compassion and more love and understanding. So that allows that frequency to rise, that creativity to come forth. When each individual begins to take action, where does that come from? It comes from an awareness, and it comes from a deeper inspiration. With all the chaos that we see all around us in the world, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Things are getting better, whether you're aware of it or not. People are questioning the mainstream talk, and I'm seeing more people seek a deeper truth, a deeper understanding to their answers. Change isn't coming. Change is already here. So we need to get on board. Now, we've all heard Gandhi say this, that if you want change, you need to be the change. You need to change what's inside of you in order for you to attract and bring to you or draw to you those areas that you desire. So keep that in mind as you move forward through all of these changes. Now, humanity has played the role of survivor and victim for many, many years, hundreds of years. All of the challenges that we've gone through over the last 5 or 6 months have brought us to a point of surrendering and eliminating that victim archetype and becoming our own empowered selves, that authentic self. Now, I'm seeing it played out in 2 different aspects. But before I go into that, let me play out this little scenario. You've got this pathway over here. These people who are on this pathway, and this is not a judgment, it's an observation. They're in the 3rd dimension. They're all about judgment, criticism, never taking responsibility for their actions. They're followers. They get on the bandwagon really quick. They're quick to bully and tell you you're wrong and they're always right. That polarity is always going to be here. That gives us the yin yang, the right and wrong, and so forth. But then there's this group over here. The path of least resistance, the more spiritual path. People are expanding their boundaries. They're looking at themselves in a different manner. They want to be empowered. They don't want to be controlled. So we've got these 2 dynamics that will play out. For me, I'm beginning to see more people become accepting of every person without having to change them. Now that's huge. We're wakening up. We're accepting things, that it's okay to have differences of opinion. You have people where there is less blame, where one needs to be right and the other person needs to be wrong. These are the 2 areas that I'm slowly hearing, seeing, and feeling different shifts and changes in humanity. Remember, what you think, you create and draw to yourself. So what you think, that is your little house. That's what you live in. And that's what you are continually drawing to yourself. So if you take responsibility for your lives and your overall well-being, this is going to help you move from being a victim to somebody who's empowered and strong. Be yourself. Love who you are. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Be miraculous. As I see you as a miraculous human being that has so many opportunities coming your way. No more isolation. You can have a very controlled, connective environment where friends and family can be together. This isolation is really hard on us. That's not our nature, and that's not the way we need to move forward. Society, as I said, is slowly waking up. So what worked before is not going to work now. People are trying still to bully you, to influence you, to force you in your thinking to be different, more like them. Be the master of your own life. Don't let that pull you backwards. August has become what I'd call a cleansing month. It's kind of a benchmark in the page of evolution. We're going to look at this in a little different fashion as we move forward and then look back at how things are going. The old paradigm is slowly leaving and the new one is coming forward. But I have to say, there's still going to be a lot of fire. What do I mean by that? You're always going to have this polarity of the individuals who are angry and frustrated and irritated at the way things are, but they don't do anything to change it. As the world and as individuals, we're going to slowly learn to let go of those power struggles and the controls that you feel you need over someone else in order to feel empowered and to be successful. If you learn to change what's happening to you on the inside first, then you will change what's coming to you, just like what Gandhi had to say to you. Even if you don't see it or feel it, there is a lot of movement forward. Each of us is being pulled towards more deep thinking, more introspection, trying to shift and change what used to be, expanding your boundaries. You know, a lot of that pertains to your belief systems. Belief systems are something like that you acquire in this lifetime. There's a belief system for your DNA. There's a belief system as far as what history has done. A lot of that has to do with your culture. What has been passed on from generation to generation? What is been the norm that may not be so good for you at this point in time? Stepping outside of your box, creating different boundaries, different limitations. And as you take on this new approach, it's going to require a lot of change, courage, and bravery. A belief system that says you can't do it that way, you only can do it this way. Question that. Is that really true for you? Do you need to change your belief systems enough to the point that you create this new wheel of life for you? Remember, we talked about that last month. The wheel of life that takes you on your new journey, your unique journey that's just for you. So don't let those old thoughts and rules pull you backwards. About 3 years ago, Spirit asked me to write a book. I don't know how to write a book. Never done that before. It was never in my mindset to do that. Well, they don't leave you alone when this is something that needs to be done. So I created my first book, probably will be my only book. It's called My Garden Within. And in that book, I had one of my chapters was about a hero's journey. And we don't really have heroes in our lifetime right now. When I was growing up, we had many people who were great examples and led wonderful, inspiring lives to sort of live up to. I'm hoping our younger generation is going to be able to start that momentum again and create new heroes for us to all sort of emulate. With that, what is your new creation? How are you going to become that hero and not let fear or old beliefs pull you aside and keep you stuck and not moving forward? Did you realize that you were born to be real, not perfect? There's so many women that I see out there, and sometimes it's in men too, who have a certain way that something needs to be done. It's their perfection. It's their manner in which they feel they have control. If it's done this way, there's control with it. Well, that's not what we were meant to be. You're not striving for perfectionism, and you're just striving to be who you are, that real, loving, compassionate individual that has a wonderful mind and so much creativity that needs to be shared. Throughout this turbulent year, have you asked yourself, what have you learned? because each and every one of us has learned so much over the last 5 to 6 years. Allow your intuition, your creativity, your imagination, all those ideals to feed you on a daily basis. Remember, today is your day. It will never be like this again. So make the most of it. Maybe it's one little thing. That's all you have to do. Allow your intuition or intuitive senses to come back into your life. Don't listen to what politicians, the media, anybody else who tells you what you should be doing. What's your gut tell you? What does your instincts tell you? That's the balancing point that you need to stay on. It's like your balance beam. Know that there's going to be change all the time. But if you stay balanced and centered through all of this, you can weather the shifts and changes around you. It's important to ground yourself. Have a connection with you as well as with the universe. Ask yourself, what is the one word that describes you, where you're at, and what you desire? That word could be courageous, could be trusting, believing. I mean, there's so many different words that would reflect you. Think about this and see if it doesn't awaken something. You're not a bud anymore. You're a full bloom that's wide open and full of glorious things that need to occur. Learn to speak the feelings that you have. That is the key to your evolution. Think of yourself as a magnetic attractor of your destiny. You're only going to pull into you what is for your highest good, what you desire. This is an unprecedented time of opportunity for you to spread your wings and to rise up. Even though there's chaos all around us, you're beginning to hold your own particular brand of magic. Learn to play with that. Learn to recognize it. And as you rise up, I ask you, please have fun. Have some laughter with it. Don't make it a heavy, dramatic, trauma type thing. Ask yourself, how will I take center stage in the play of my life? Not anybody else's. It's got to be your life. What will you say hello to? And lastly, what are you willing to let go, to surrender, and no longer have in your life in order to make space for all these new glorious opportunities? Yes, this has been a very turbulent year filled with a lot of disappointments for many, many people. And we won't go into those because that's the victimhood. We want to rise above that. Because of those disappointments, you now have an opportunity for a fresh new start. To rise up, to be empowered, to be your own person, to let yourself dream new opportunities. Did you ever think of yourself as a unique little snowflake? There is no one else made like you. Your design, your brilliance, your magnificentness and beauty is like no one else. So use that. What is the calling or the pulling that you're receiving inside that you need to answer? Could it be as dramatic as moving out of the state you're in right now to a state that's different? So that's a new environment, new job, new social connections. Everything is changing. Your weather may be different in that space. Now, to me, that's very courageous, that's brave. Besides to say the fact that it's a lot of work. But maybe that's what's needed for you to let go of and leave behind all of those things that don't serve you any longer and step into the center of your stage, your wheel of life that is so full of glorious, magnificent things, new opportunities. Are you original, or are you moving in the direction of others just to be a part of the group? I ask you to think about that and be different. Be true to yourself. This is a journey that you're working on that only covers about 49% of the equation. The rest is how can you make a contribution, a difference to those that are in need in this world. For me, my business is to provide guidance, a direction that will best serve an individual or individuals, depending upon who I'm working with. My greatest desire through all this chaos is that people or our humanity will treat each other with love and kindness, and to take your ideas and creativity and turn them into a positive direction. That's my challenge. I also challenge you to work to be more gracious than maybe you have been treated up to this point. We've all been bullied. We've all been put down. We've all been told some pretty negative things. Do you need to repeat that to somebody else to feel empowered? Or are you able to rise above that and treat people with love and respect, have their backs, show them that you support them, and not repeat the old? We're all working together, but we're all on our own unique journey. When I close each series that I've done, I've always tried to give you a little statement, something to remind yourself of who you are. Today, I want to share a little something about the word blessing. Most of my emails are finished with blessing, love, and light. Sometimes I'll text and say blessings to that individual. I want you to understand in my mind what a blessing is. It is a circle of light that I have drawn around each and every person to protect, to heal, and to strengthen them. So as I close with this August message, I bless each and every one of you and embrace you in a circle of light that will hold you until we come together next month. I have 4 more series that I've committed to. I promised the universe I would do this for a year, so there's 4 more. So please share this with others, have them subscribe, and all that subscription gives you is a hit every time I do a video. So until next month, be blessed, honor who you are, question everything, don't take the word of someone else. Does it feel right in your heart? Does it feel right in your gut? Find the joy and the happiness that there is on a daily basis. Until next month, blessings, namaste, so it is, and bye-bye for now.